race fans, this is Jeff. Here we are on Racers Reunion TV on racersreunion.com, ending day number 2 at the Nostalgia Little Guy Nationals here at Virginia Motorsports Park. And my guest here is Dennis Hitchcock. Dennis, how you doing, buddy?
It's fine.
It's glad I got to get used to using this one mic here. You have to forgive me for that. Good to have you over here, buddy.
It's good to be here.
What what a great ceremony here. We've had 2 days now, a test and tune yesterday, a day of racing, all these great race cars, old race cars, show cars, and a Hall of Fame induction all together. What do you think, Dennis?
Oh, it was a lot of big names here.
Yeah, there sure was. And one thing that we like to do here is give the racing fans, young and old, the young fans an education in racing history and from your perspective, and the old fans will walk down memory lane. So if you don't mind, give us a rundown of your racing background, when you got in and why.
Well, I got in 1966. As soon as I turned 15 years old, I had a 442 Oldsmobile. And I used to race that in pure stock, and it wasn't long before I was driving the Oldsmobile from the Oldsmobile dealer in a stock class. 68 and 69, we raced NHRA stockers at Suffolk and Richmond and all around the area. Then in 1970, raced a brand new 1970 440 Challenger, 446 pack from Triangle Dodge. We set the IHRA record with that. Then 1972, I had a 396 68 Camaro. We set the national record in Formula stock with that. In 73, I had a 427 68 Camaro, ran C stock and Formula stock. We set the national record in that. The next year, I went to a 67 Camaro. It ran a class higher and set the national record in that class. And we just raced Formula stock racing right in the Virginia, North Carolina area through the 70s. And 78 and 79, I got out of it and started racing. Four-wheel drives became in, so I got me a Bronco with a nitrous oxide, and I was climbing hills. And then in 1980, somebody called me, wanted me to drive their race car, and so I got back into drag racing again. And I guess 81 through 85, we raced the car for 5 years called a Gauntlet car. It ran 950s, and I won a lot of big bracket races in the Virginia area. And then 1987, I started racing the Corvette that I still have, and it's got over 1,200 passes on it, and won a lot of races with it, but it's just gotten where it's a lot of work now, but my car's sitting there ready to go anytime I feel like taking it.
Whenever you get the urge.
When I get the urge, and I like it better when the car's ready and it's waiting on me rather than I want to go and the car needs working on it.
Yeah, no kidding. I can understand that. Well, now, as you look back across your racing history and your background, is there one particular period that stands out that's kind of better than the others, or that's your favorite time, or maybe it's a period that you're proudest of?
I think it was maybe 1969 when they inducted Gene Holt here into the Hall of Fame tonight. He was the big name back then, and he had a Mustang called a Wild Pony, which was NHRA. He was a Tourer. And I was about 18 years old, and it was the first time they'd let me drive the car doing eliminations and all, and I can remember I had to spot him from a 1269 to a 1272. I ran E-stock, he ran F-stock. And my clutch foot was shaking so bad, I couldn't even hardly hold in the clutch. And the lights come down, and I left heads up with him after giving him 300s and beat him. And after that, I felt like I had a 50-50 chance anybody that I ran. Hey,
that's cool. That's a cool story. Now, let me ask you this. As far as racing, of course, the nostalgia racing, we love it, man. But what about racing today, big-time racing, and the way the sport has evolved? What do you think about it?
Well, the technology has really added a lot of nice aspects to it, but it's taken away a lot of things from the driver's skill and ability. Now it's a lot of electronics, and we used to go to a track and it'd be 35, 40 cars, and it wasn't but 5 or 6 could run the national record. Well, now you come and it's 100 cars, every one of them's competitive. If they lose first round, they buy back, which it gives the little guy a better chance. He can just go buy the same equipment. He's got a chance where he used to would take years of experience and tuning on a car and getting it to run fast enough to win, and now anybody can win with anything. So I guess it's helped a little of people, but I I don't know. It's just the world. You know, the world changes.
Yeah, the world changes. You know, most of us liked it better then than we do now. Right. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, but you're not the first person today who's mentioned what the electronics took away. They took a lot of the driver's skill out of the racing, which changed the sport.
Yeah, I mean, cutting that light used to be 75–80% of the race, and the more you won, the better, more practice you got. Now people can get practice trees and practice all week long, 1,000, 2,000 times, go to the track, turn loose the buttons, the same as on a practice tree. But years ago, when you lost first round every week, you had to wait a week before you got any more practice.
I understand that. Well, Dennis, you know, it's great to meet you finally, and hopefully we'll run into you again another one of these things down the road. Appreciate you coming over and being part of our deal with us.
Well, I sure appreciate it. And Suffolk Racetrack has a lot of memories for a lot of people.
Yeah, sure does. These guys have talked all day long about seeing people they haven't seen in 20, 25 years, and anytime you can do that and bring people back together and reunite them after a long period of time, it's a cool deal.
Yeah.
And appreciate you being part of it, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks, right here, Dennis Hitchcock on Racers Reunion TV.